We've all heard it. The voice in our head that says, I'm just not good under pressure, or good things don't happen to me, or some people have it and I don't. Those are called limiting beliefs, and they're the subject of this week's episode. We're going to talk about where they come from, how they've been running the show, and how we can start writing a new program. Here's the thing. A limiting belief isn't something we sat down and just decided to believe, right? Nobody wakes up one day and says, or chooses, I choke under pressure as their identity. It gets written in over time from our experiences, input from others, repeated thoughts and words, and then the subconscious does what it does. It goes looking for evidence to prove whatever we've already decided is true. So if the belief is, I'm not consistent, guess what your brain will start collecting evidence for? Every inconsistent run. And it conveniently forgets the solid ones. Now, I'll be honest with you about my own. I've lived under a limiting belief for years. Mine sounded like this. I'm too old to change careers. Not, it might be harder now, or not, we'll see, but just a solid, settled fact in my head because I believed it. And so I found ways to make it true. I had ideas in the past, but I talked myself out of things before ever even trying them. But then here's what happened. So that mindset work I was doing for my mental game in competition, the daily reps, the power statements, the consistency, well, that all started bleeding into the other parts of my life. And so at age 52, I retired from a 20-year career and built a coaching business on my own. So here's the good news, and this is where it gets exciting. Those limiting beliefs aren't facts. They're not even close. They're a program in our mind, and a program can be rewritten. So this is where our power statement for the week comes in, and it's a good one. I am not my old programming. I am who I choose to become. So say that with me out loud if you can, or with a strong voice in your head. Stand up a little taller, sit up a little taller, shoulders back. I am not my old programming. I am who I choose to become. So that will be our statement of the week. And that is not wishful thinking. That's the truth about how the mind actually works. And this week, we're going to prove it to you piece by piece, where those beliefs come from, how they show up in, right in the middle of a high stakes moment. And you'll get a real tool that you can use to trade and train those old beliefs into new ones. Tomorrow, I want to geek out on you a little bit because there's a scientist whose work took this from makes sense to, oh, this is actually how biology works. We're going to talk about where these programs actually live and the proof that they can be rewritten. So I will see you then.